Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online VGC 20 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. For the last two episodes, we've been using a Blastoise Coalossal team, and I want to play one or two more episodes with it, depending on how today goes. So first of all, let me know if you want to see more games with this team. Of course, if you want to try it out, it is a rental team, and there is also a Reddit thread that details the build of the team. So all of that is linked in the description below. Thank you to the creator once again for offering it to me. It's been a lot of fun to play with, honestly, and I think I'm actually really impressed by the power of Gmax Coalossal, so hoping to use it a little bit more in today's episode. So, first of all, question of the day, I'm curious, I've asked this a bunch throughout the years, but I'm always curious, especially now that there are new viewers to the channel, what upload time is most convenient for you guys, so let me know in the comments below, go upload any comments and have times that you agree with, and I would greatly appreciate that information and feedback. And as always, if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, please show your support by leaving a like in the video, I'd really appreciate it. I was originally going to go to Toronto for the regional championships there this weekend, but due to, the coronavirus and everything kind of developing around it, I've decided not to go, so a little bummed out about that. I was hoping to meet some of you guys there, but it will mean that I'll be able to at least make more videos in the next couple of days. And I'm going on spring break next week for about a week or so, trying to record as much as I can before I go there. And also be streaming on Twitch over at Cybertron VGC at least once or twice in the next couple of days, so give that a follow if you don't already. Let's get started with today's episode. We're up against some more Sableye shenanigans after playing a ton. I feel like I've seen so many Sableyes early meta. So Charizard, Ninetales, Gastrodon, which is a really bad Pokemon to go up against. So I think we actually have to bring the Hatterene solely for it, as we learned our mistake the other day. We were able to win against Gastrodon the other day, but it was not pretty. Took some really fancy maneuvering to get around it. Sableye, Venusaur, and Milotic. This team looks really scary. It also kind of looks like this could have been a team you saw in VGC 2012 or 2013. I want to go Coalossal really badly. I might not Dynamax it, but still bring it. Yeah. The thing with Coalossal is if I go Blastoise, I can't necessarily just activate or self-proc myself. But I guess this still, isn't terrible. I mean, I have to bring Pelipper, right? But then who do I give up? Because I think Pessimian could be the Pokemon to Dynamax to beat Gastrodon. Maybe I don't bring Blastoise. But then I'm not activating Weakness Policy. Ah! Can I beat Gastrodon if I just bring Pessimian? I mean, Hatterene really sucks other than having Energy Ball, so... Alright, I mean, this time it's a little bit better than last time when I brought Blastoise, Raichu, and Pelipper. None of those hit the Gastrodon other than Pelipper. But this time, at least, I have Coalossal, which can set up the... I mean, I had Coalossal last time, so the more important thing is I have Pessimian, which I think will probably be the Pokemon that I want to Dynamax, but this was tough. I feel like I could have brought all of my Pokemon, and in Team Preview, I'm not sure I did the best job possible to bring, the optimal 4 here. We'll see what my opponent goes with. It's actually Sableye Charizard, which is probably exactly what we want to see here, because Coalossal is actually in a really good position. The problem is that you could just switch in the Gastrodon immediately. So I think reading the Gastrodon, I'm actually going to switch out into Pessimian, and the more I think about it, I guess Hatterene actually would have been good because it beats both Sableye and Gastrodon, which I think are pretty much always coming out in this matchup. If I'm my opponent, I go for maybe Fake Out on the Blastoise and switch out the Charizard into Gastrodon. So I'm going to predict that, go for Flare Blitz here. And the thing about switching to Pessimian is then I'm burn bait for a turn, but maybe we just switch the Pessimian back out and then in once we knock out the Sableye. Charizard's staying in though. Oh man, don't tell me this is a sunny day max overgrowth into Coalossal. Wow, my opponent really read me there. Because if I just self-Aqua... I guess I can't self-Aqua Jet because you're Charizard. You can just Fake Out the Blastoise. So what we could have done was actually gone for Gmax Blastoise or Dynamax Blastoise, but that's a terrible move. You should never do that when your opponent has the threat of Gastrodon and you don't have any coverage against Gastrodon. Okay. Nice play. Yep. Fake Out into Blastoise. It was Max Overgrowth. I mean, this isn't KO. And it actually went into the Blastoise slot. Okay. Upside, we take a turn of Dynamax. Downside, we could have knocked out... I mean, but now it's actually, might be worthwhile to actually Dynamax the Coalossal. And that might seem a little bit weird, but the reason is because, one, maybe my opponent didn't bring Gastrodon, which would be really weird, because I've been running Rain. But, more importantly, is it eject button? It is, okay. Okay. Yeah, the main thing is that my opponent's committed the Dynamax to Charizard, which means Gastrodon is a significantly smaller threat. But that was a nice play, yeah. Glad I switched out, I guess, but Ninetales is going to come out. Okay. So we've already seen 3 of the 4, right? Which, hilarious enough, actually will lower Charizard's damage a little bit. I think what we can do here is just switch out into Pelipper. That's why we brought it in the first place. We brought it. Pelipper, right? Yes. Thank God. We're going to switch into Pelipper, Dynamax, and I could see Charizard protecting here. But what's Ninetales going to do against us, right? Yeah, I think this is a pretty safe play. And I, at this point, have taken so much damage on the Passimian that I think Coalossal is the only Pokemon we are going to Dynamax. We're definitely not Dynamaxing Pelipper, and I still have to assume like Gastron's my opponent's last one, so Blastoise doesn't make much sense either. But right now, Coalossal has an excellent matchup against Charizard, Ninetales, and Sableye. I'm really surprised my opponent just went for that play turn 1, though. Like, what if I just Dynamax Coalossal like I did last time when I led against Sableye Charizard and just knock out Charizard turn 1? Then you're in a really awkward spot, I feel like. But that play ended up working out. Honestly, it ended up being fine for me, too. I didn't really take that much damage. My opponent, by bringing in Ninetales now, has like, kind of an awkward spot in terms of weather control. Nasty plot. Okay. That's cool. But I don't think I'm too scared of that because I can just Tailwind or just Scald that slot. Let's see. Oh, it is Max Airstream and a Pelipper. Does that KO us? It does. Okay. I mean, this is a Ninetales in Rain, though, right? You're probably running, like, a Fire-type attack. Like, you know, Heat Wave, Overheat, Flamethrower, Solar Beam, any combination of those. So then the question is, do you have a way to hit Coalossal? I don't even know if he gets an attack that really threatens Coalossal right now, so honestly don't know the answer to that question. Okay. We get the crit there, but that obviously doesn't really matter. More importantly, though, we knock... Like, anytime you knock out your opponent's Dynamax Pokemon, that's huge. Because then I get 4 turns of rocks hitting everything, right? So that's so much damage on everything. Okay. I mean, AV Passimian might honestly even survive an attack right now from the Ninetales. I think we bring out Passimian. I don't want to bring out Blastoise because I think if you have Gastrodon, it comes out right now. But it's Sableye. Did my opponent not bring Gastrodon in this matchup? That's so hard to fathom, but okay. Max Quake could be worth it here. Special defense boost could actually be very helpful. Yeah, I think we Max Quake onto Ninetales. Kind of like Feint and Max Quake. Just get the knockout onto that. Yeah. Because, like, Sableye's going to faint after a couple of turns from the rocks. If we knock out Ninetales, then it's on a timer, basically. So then the question is, who's my opponent's last one? And there's the Protect on Ninetales. That's perfect. I'm expecting Will-O-Wisp, maybe, onto Passimian. Either way, Feint will break through this Protect, and Ninetales will be going down. Ah, that makes sense. Cool. Well, that's why Feint is a clutch move. And if Gastrodon is my opponent's last one, I mean, Skull's going to be doing less damage. If you attack us, you're just going to activate Weakness Policy, and we still have 2 turns of rocks afterwards, so that's 2/6 of damage immediately onto the Gastrodon. Plus, we're healing back, too, from grassy terrain right now. We got a crit there. I don't think it matters. Like, I mean, all we needed was what? Because it was already at, like, what, 2/3, and it was going to lose another 1/6 of health, so we need to do, like, 50%. I'd be shocked if we weren't getting that. And my opponent's grassy terrain actually helping me out a little bit right now. Yeah. So Sableye has 2 more turns, basically. But Coalossal still hasn't really taken any damage. And ultimately, yeah, it just looked really good in Team Preview. The one thing I was worried about was that Gastrodon, but once my opponent, with that lead and with that turn 1 play, committed to a Dynamax on... And wow, there's no Gastrodon. Interesting. There is, however, right now, the threat of Sleep Powder, which is kind of scary. But... I think that's fine, right? Because there's 2 turns of terrain. I guess Venusaur theoretically could sweep through us, which is kind of scary. I'd like to Max Quake, which should knock out the Sableye. Sableye doesn't really threaten me. We need as much damage off as possible against the Venusaur. Maybe we just double up on a Sableye here, actually. Yeah, if we knock out Sableye, then it's going to be a 3v1, because I don't think you can knock out either Pokemon this turn, even with the double up onto something. Ah, but he's got Trick. What is he giving me? Oh, eject button. No, wait. Oh, he just took... Sorry, he had the eject button, yeah. Okay. If that Sleep Powder misses, we just win automatically, but that's still fine. That was a cool play by my opponent, though. I think Iron Head here should get the KO, yeah. With the special defense boost on weakness... Assault Vest Coalossal. Sorry, Assault Vest Passimian, I think we should still be good here. I feel like the game just got super laggy. But maybe it's just me. Let me know if it looks laggy. Maybe, I don't know if it's because there's so many field effects going on right now. It could be the case. But yeah, with that special defense boost from Max Quake, I think Coalossal and Passimian aren't really in much danger. And you have to... I mean, if I wake up here turn 1, like, the game's just instantly over, right? I think we opt to just click Flare Blitz here. Let's see, actually. Because there's terrain up, but there's only one more turn. So, actually, I think going for a Protect, if we get it, would be good, because then we stall out the terrain. Although, I guess if we just wake up, we win anyway, right? Immediately. Who cares if we take the damage? Yeah, that's better. We'll just knock off and Flare Blitz here. I can't believe my opponent didn't bring Gastrodon in this. They went Full Sun, and Coalossal beats Full Sun so hard. And the Energy Ball actually goes into Passimian. Nice, okay. So, I mean, if we wake up here, game's instantly over, but even if not, like, yeah. Knockoff does a lot of good damage there. It's actually Expert Belt, which is kind of cool. And, yeah, the rocks will further bring down Venusaur's health. The main thing here is that Venusaur, of course, will outspeed the Blast... Or, actually, the other day, we outsped a Venusaur, and that's because... And this Blastoise has, like, no investment, so you'd have to really have, like, negative investment to not get KO'd. But now we can just click Flare Blitz again, and, there's no reason to feint here. The reason to feint is if Venusaur protects, actually. So I actually like going for feint. Especially with the special defense boost. I guess Venusaur actually could have Earth Power. Especially if it's Expert Belt. So maybe I actually shouldn't have gone for feint, I should have gone for Iron Head. But he's just Energy Balling, okay. Let's see if we're able to wake up. We actually survived that, too. Okay, nice. That should secure the game up for us, then. Yeah, because we can just Flare Blitz and Iron Head now. And you can only knock out one of 2 Pokemon. I don't even think an Earth Power knocks out Coalossal plus 1 special defense. If it even has it. We've seen Sleep Powder and Energy Ball, but my opponent just forfeits. Okay. I mean, this game was perfect for Coalossal, right? My opponent brought Charizard, Ninetales, Venusaur, and Sableye. Like, Coalossal beats all of those. And so it was literally a game looking 4v1. We didn't even get our weakness policy off, but didn't need it, quite honestly. And, yeah. Kind of surprising, because I feel like Gastrodon makes so much sense in a matchup against Pelipper, Blastoise, Raichu, and Coalossal. But maybe my opponent was just really afraid of... I don't know. What are you afraid of? It's not like Raichu or Hatterene really threatened it too much either. But we take those. Obviously don't know the Gastrodon stat, so I don't know. Maybe my opponent just didn't feel very comfortable Dynamaxing it, and that team relies more on Dynamaxing like Charizard. But yeah, that was a game where you can see the value of Coalossal, especially if your opponent doesn't bring something that counters it. Like, it can 4v1 some teams, honestly. And that was pretty close to a 4v1. Next team for the day is really interesting. It's one definitely centered around 3 main Pokemon in Lapras, Corviknight, and Dragapult. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like Clay Lapras, where you G-Max, but yeah. A lot of stuff happening there. Coalossal could be really good here, actually. The main thing I always have to watch out for Blastoise Coalossal is you have to 1, think about Fake Out, and 2, think about Follow Me, and both exist on my opponent's team. So not that easy to set up this time around. We also have to look at Corviknight. I think we want to Dynamax Coalossal this game, honestly. But I think I like leading Raichu. It's mainly the threat of both Grimmsnarl and the Butterfree Let's Scammy. I guess we actually could go Butterfree Coalossal, though. That's not terrible. This gives us enough flexibility to flex with Passimian and Blastoise in the back. We want to bring Blastoise for the solo Aqua Jet. Yeah. Alright, let's try this out. It always feels weird when I'm not bringing, like, Coalossal next to Blastoise, because you obviously want to just Aqua Jet yourself immediately, but like I said, I think it's kind of hard to do with this lead, because if I lead Blastoise and Coalossal, then I'm kind of weak to Butterfree. Potentially Grimmsnarl can fake out the Blastoise as well, so I'd rather go with Raichu, which can fake out the Butterfree, fake out the Grimmsnarl, and then Coalossal can just maybe Gigantamax immediately. And it's actually going to be... Okay, Grimmsnarl and Lapras. What do I want to do here? Coalossal's obviously in kind of an awkward spot. You can't Thunder Wave it. But I don't think I survive a Max Geyser. So then the question is, how fast is Lapras? Because I think if you're my opponent, you just go for a Fake Out. I mean, you know what we could do? We could just protect the Coalossal, try to get my opponent to activate the Steam Engine. Yeah, like Fake Out, protect. I mean, you could also just go for the G-Max Resonance as well. That was yeah, I don't know. I feel like I had a better lead against this, but I guess if I go Blastoise Coalossal, then I can turn 1 double protect and then turn 2 self Aqua Jet. But the Grimmsnarl does pose a lot of problems in general, so maybe Hatterene actually could have been okay. I mean, but the thing with Hatterene is I'm not doing any damage against Lapras anyway. So I'm gonna Fake Out and actually, I mean, I feel like you're always gonna be what, like Thunder Wave, Fake Out, Grimmsnarl? No, eject button, okay. Well, if there's a Max Geyser going out into my Coalossal right now, it's actually not bad. But I can see my opponent totally going for like just a G-Max Resonance, which would be a really good play. Let's see what comes out. Yeah, I mean, like, Fake Out plus G-Max Resonance into Raichu, I think, was a super safe play. But it is Max Geyser. Oh, okay. Oh my, that nearly KO'd us. Maybe we don't or yeah, maybe, oh, that was a crit, that was why. Okay, yeah. Yeah, maybe we don't Dynamax. Steam Engine activates though. I'm hoping that has enough speed investment to outspeed Dragapult. If not, I'm gonna cry. Passimian and I think we Dynamax Passimian, honestly, at this point, given the start. And I want to Nuzzle the Dragapult. I'm going to Nuzzle Rock Slide here. This does threaten activating a weakness policy, though, of course, on the Lapras. And we get to flinch onto Dragapult. That's huge. Yeah, I mean, it could have been Surf there coming up from Dragapult if it's Water Absorb. Otherwise, you're not knocking out Raichu, so I get that Nuzzle off anyway. And it's actually going to be G-Max Resonance. That's not too surprising. Yep. Into Raichu, actually. So Coalossal hangs around for a little bit longer. Surely the Dragapult was targeting that slot, but yeah. I mean, Fast Rock Slide is really good, right? So a little lucky there, obviously, but we'll take it. It also, more importantly, wasn't Weakness Policy Lapras, so that's also a big piece of information. I think I like just Thunderbolting a Rock Sliding here. It probably doesn't KO, but I'm fine with that. Because it's the last turn of Dynamax for my opponent's end, and then Passimian can just put in a lot of work now. Nice. So regular Coalossal actually being huge in this match for us. Didn't even need to Dynamax it. Yeah, Thunderbolt does not get the KO. That's so bulky. That might be a Solvest, actually. I don't know. Max Geyser will come out, and we'll go into Coalossal, but Coalossal did more than I needed it to in this game. Like, we fell down to 36 HP on turn 1, and then we effectively knocked out a Dragapult and got, like, 90% of damage onto Lapras, which is obviously excellent. Let's see, my opponent led Grimmsnarl. I think Passimian coming out here is fine, yeah. Because I think we can just Dynamax it now and win with Passimian, and Water Spout Blastoise in the back. Because I want to knock out the... And the other cool thing about Raichu is you prevent the Thunder Waves from coming out, which I really, really like. So, here, we can pretty easily Dynamax Passimian. Yeah, I think Blastoise Passimian should win against everything my opponent has in the back. So, I think we Dynamax the Passimian. We go for a double up here onto the Lapras. And Max Knuckle here is fine. That gets us the attack boost, which means we should knock out the Grimmsnarl next turn. And one of the main things, I think, to beat Lapras, especially when it's not weakness policy, is just to stall out a couple of turns, because then you get so much mileage off. So that's kind of the name of the game for, you know, stalling out these more bulky Pokemon. You get rid of the Dynamax, and suddenly, obviously, they lose so much of their bulk. And then you Dynamax, and if you're able to stall out the Dynamax advantage, like, this puts us in a really good spot, theoretically, right? It's actually just going to go for Ice Shard. Okay, makes sense. Does that KO us? Yeah, it does. That actually might allow the Grimmsnarl to Thunder Wave or Swagger us. But, ooh, it's actually going for an attack, so it could be a Fairy type attack, which would be very scary. We are faster, though, which is a you know, big piece of information. And right now, we've got the Rain up, so that actually sets up for Blastoise to come in and just click Water Spout. But that was obviously a fortunate flinch. It's just Spirit Break. He's going to give me Defiant. So we're at +3 attack now with Passimian. I suspect it's Alcremie or Corviknight in the back, but I mean, we have a pretty good matchup against either of those, right? Like, Blastoise right now with Rain up. I think this Blastoise is super slept on, because you don't Dynamax it most of the time, and in Rain with Water Spout, you do so much damage. Like, Water Spout's obviously just such a good attack. It's going to be that Alcremie, okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to click Water Spout here, and I think we just go for the Max Steel Spike onto probably Alcremie. Because what's Grimmsnarl really threatening us with? Sucker Punch. Ooh, okay. Well, it's going to do some damage, but whatever. We're faster with Passimian anyway, so it doesn't even really end up mattering. And that should knock out the Alcremie. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, so the main thing in this game is that we were able to just weather the storm of our opponent's Dynamax and kind of sweep afterwards. But yeah, I'm really glad that it shows the value of normal Coalossal. And we ended up being fortunate enough that my opponent did attack into the weakness policy, but that's exactly the play that I was going for. Despite the crit, we were still able to manage to survive and then get one big Rock Slide off. Once again, like, obviously we were lucky enough to get that flinch onto the Dragapult. Not sure what it was going for there. If it was something like Surf, this game would obviously play out quite differently. But we would have at least gotten the Nuzzle off, and then Passimian still comes out. I think Passimian honestly 4v1s once Dynamax ends, so hard to say whether it mattered for sure, but in that position, once we get it, we're in a phenomenal spot. So, quite lucky, but we'll take it. Spirit Break, yeah, onto Passimian, though, pretty much allowed us to secure this endgame. So, nice. We rack up another win. But, yeah, that's kind of the cool thing with Coalossal, right? You don't necessarily have to activate your weakness policy. Despite it being obviously very weak to water and being having a lot of weaknesses, you're able to get a lot of setups with it with weakness policy often. And if your opponent just attacks into it, that can be really good. I think, like, my opponent could have had maybe value from going for... what I was expecting, if I'm in my opponent's shoes, is maybe double up onto Raichu, go for Fake Out, so that Raichu potentially can't go for an Electric-type attack onto the Lapras, and then maybe a G-Max Resonance. Just double up onto the Lapras, get the screens up, and then that really protects you. So, yeah, the play I made was a very aggressive one, expecting my opponent to target into Coalossal. Because I think in that spot, it's very, very safe to double up into Raichu. If that happens, then I'm in a really bad spot, I think, going into turn 2. Because then what do I do, right? You didn't activate weakness policy. Steam Engine didn't get activated either. So I got kind of bailed out. Like, I probably needed to lead a little bit better. And I'm trying to think what that lead is. I don't know. I don't like Hatterene once again that much in this matchup. It's just, especially if my opponent brings Corviknight, like that can Dynamax / Gigantamax and wall me super hard. So didn't like that too much. I didn't like Blastoise Coalossal because of the threat of Fake Out and Thunder Wave from Grimmsnarl, especially if my opponent's leads with it, which is exactly what they ended up going with. So I don't know what the best combo lead there was, but that was a fun game. Hopefully a little cleaner. I mean, maybe Passimian lead could have actually been solid, but like I said, I wanted to stall out my opponent's Dynamax. Got another Lapras today. Braviary. So Braviary Excadrill, which, you know, we're pretty early meta on. Incineroar Lapras, which are newer additions. Gothitelle, which has picked up steam, especially in the last couple of weeks. And then Grimmsnarl. On paper, I still really like Coalossal. The main thing is just, once again, the Dynamax from my opponent's end, right? Like, could go Blastoise, though. I mean, I feel like Blastoise Coalossal actually isn't terrible here. It's pretty flexible. Like, I don't like Raichu too much here because of the fact that my opponent has Excadrill, so it doesn't really do much. So I want as many ways to beat Excadrill as possible. I think the 4 Pokemon I'm bringing are the best 4. So I still have to watch out for a couple of things. I mean, with Grimmsnarl, you always have to worry about Thunder Wave, and I'm not bringing Raichu, so I can't redirect those as easily. But, I mean, Blastoise's Water Spouts and Rain hit Braviary, Excadrill, Incineroar, Gothitelle, and Grimmsnarl for insane damage. Sounds like a clickbaity YouTube title, but honestly, like, it can do a lot of work. Passimian is still a potential candidate to Dynamax, and I think my opponent's going to be less inclined to bring that Incineroar, because if you lead with it and I lead Passimian, I can just get a boost. Although, if you wanted to go around that, you could probably just lead, like, Braviary and Incineroar, which allows you to Dynamax Braviary and just max their stream. So, yeah. Alright. Last game of the day. Let's see how things go. Thanks again, guys, as always, for watching. I've been saying this in the last couple of episodes, so hopefully you guys don't get too tired of me saying it, but I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun, and overall, I'm just really enjoying making these videos, and I'm glad that people continue to come out and watch these videos. So thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Excadrill Goth. Okay. What's stopping us from double protecting turn 1 and then turn 2 Aqua Jet into Coalossal? Because we're trapped here, right? I like just double protecting. The thing here is I could make the read that my opponent doesn't target down Coalossal. I unfortunately don't have Fake Out on this Blastoise, so I think I have to double protect. We'll double protect. We'll see. Like if what happened in the last game happens where my opponent Dynamaxes, attacks me through weakness policy, and activates Steam Engine automatically, then what we can do is just go for max, like, RG max attack and maybe Water Spout. Yeah. The problem here, oh, excuse me, stayed up pretty late last night, so a little doozy, a little tired. I'm in exam season right now, and hopefully you guys are, for those of you that have exams, are doing alright. Especially with all the craziness recently. But, let's see. I could see it being fake out max Quake into Blastoise or into Coalossal. There's the fake out. Yeah, it went into Blastoise. And there's max Quake. Let's see who you're targeting. It's gonna be Coalossal. Does that KO us? No, it doesn't. Perfect. Okay. So once again, we get the weakness policy activation. Once again, perhaps we don't want to Dynamax. Yeah, I mean, why Dynamax, right? If we Dynamax, we could go for Max Flare. But what I'm worried about is Excadrill protecting. Oh, it's Life Orb Excadrill. That's a big deal, actually. Because of that, I think we're actually free. I'm not going to Dynamax once again. Because I think Passimian can win. So I think we just Water Spout and Flare Blitz. I think we should survive a Psychic from Gothitelle. I could see Protect... I mean, but if you Protect Trick Room, then you have Trick Room up against a Blastoise, right? That's not that great. There is a special defense boost on Gothitelle, but I don't know. I think I like playing it safe here right now because I'm exerting pressure against my opponent's Dynamax Pokemon. I don't think Gothitelle really puts on pressure with the knockout right now. Worst case is that Trick Room goes up, but then we can double protect the next turn, and then Trick Room expires, bring out the Pelipper, Water Spout, just get some KOs. One thing I should have checked, actually, was whether it's competitive or Shadow Tag Goth. You should always just do that immediately. Okay, Excadrill is max guard. So I could have made the sick read of doubling up onto Gothitelle, but I didn't feel like I was in a position where I really needed to do that. Wow. Is that a crit onto Goth? Yeah. Okay. And we survive. Wait, why is our Coalossal so slow? Oh, Steam Engine didn't activate, right? Am I trolling? No, it did. Oh! Oh my, I literally was, God, sorry guys, you can tell I'm tired. I'm so used to Steam Engine just activating from super effective hits. That's hilarious. The thing here is that my opponent's Excadrill still has to target down Coalossal. Because if not, Flare Blitz... I guess you could Max Quake Blastoise. Oof. Maybe we actually Dynamax Blastoise. I'm actually going to go for that. I actually wanted to protect Coalossal Dynamax Blastoise, but I'm Dynamaxing here to get the knockout onto the Excadrill. Because I think with Passimian and Pelipper in the back, we should be able to handle even Lapras. But wow, that was such a funny blunder. I think my opponent protected there, expecting probably this Aqua Jet and then me to Dynamax. So I'm glad I didn't Dynamax with Coalossal. Not that I was ever going to do that, but me making kind of a dumb play actually ended up working out more in my favor there, which is funny. Max Quake into Blastoise. Yeah. So what I should have done was actually target down the Gothitelle with Blastoise, because then I pick up a double KO. So that was actually a pretty bad misplay. But that's still fine. You can't play perfectly all the time. And I think it's good to highlight playing multiple games in a row just to kind of show like the mental stamina that can go on behind games sometimes, you know? So Gothitelle probably knocks out the Coalossal, but then we get Pelipper in and it's Scarf Pelipper. It's gonna Psychic into Coalossal. Yeah, so that was a mistake to not have gone for Geyser Flare Blitz, because then that's just a free double KO. So unfortunately, Coalossal did not do very much for us in this game, but it was kind of bait, you know? As Blastoise's Rain Dish will allow it to heal back a little bit. Now we bring in the Pelipper. But I don't like that I committed Dynamaxing Blastoise. I wanted to just to get the Water Spout or Max Geyser off, but I think I played the last two turns quite poorly. And I'll talk about what I would have done better after the game is over. Right now, let's just focus on winning what's ahead of us. I would think Max Steel Spike knocks out Gothitelle, right? So let's go for that. And just Scald the Excadrill. Actually, I kind of want a Tailwind here, expecting Excadrill to protect or switch out. You might not know I'm Scarf, though, right? Yeah, I'll just Scald to be safe. Because I think Passimian has a really good matchup in this late game. And I think my opponent might be baited into thinking, oh, you're not Scarfed, I can get a Rock Slide off to damage your Pelipper. If Lapras switches in, it's not the end of the world, because we'll knock out Gothitelle anyway, get a defense boost, and then we thread in whatever comes out with Scarf Scald. But, okay, Excadrill will switch out. See if it's Lapras. Yeah, okay. Good switch in. But I think it's still fine to play it safe right now. It's also good to confirm Water Absorb. You know, it's not like they always carry that. If Excadrill comes back out, Max Geyser will just be able to KO it. Oh, Gothitelle doesn't faint there. Wow. Yeah, that is the weakness of Blastoise, I guess. Okay. And Trick Room goes up. That's bad news for us. Yeah, I think I kind of tossed this. I had a really good matchup, and I did not play it to how I should have. It's not over, though. I shouldn't give up, obviously. Especially with Passimian in the back. I think I'm going to Steel Spike the Lapras here. And Scald the Gothitelle. I was confident I was going to get that knockout, which is why I was playing so, you know, willy-nilly. Okay. Maybe we should have just knocked out Gothitelle there, I don't know. But I wanted the chip damage onto Lapras, because then that puts it in close combat KO range. I don't know how fast the Lapras is, too. We might actually outspeed it with our... And actually, yeah, it's fine. Because Dynamax ends here, so we can just Aqua Jet the Gothitelle. So we're actually at +2 defense. We're actually relatively tanky. Freeze Dry will probably just KO us, though, right? So the question here is, do I want to just Aqua Jet close combat? Because I am worried about a Freeze Dry from Lapras just KOing Blastoise. I could protect Blastoise here. But Passimian might be able to beat whatever's in the back. Yeah, especially with Trick Room being up. So I think I'm just going to Aqua Jet Gothitelle here and close combat the Lapras. I should have played this a little bit better, though. Like, I literally should have won the turn I Dynamaxed if I just make the correct targets there. So that was really my bad. But makes the game more interesting. Alright, let's see. Are you faster than us? You are. It's got Thunder. Just going to target down Blastoise. Okay. That's probably game then, I think, but I don't know. It's going to be close. Close combat should knock out the Lapras. Like, I'm hoping it's Incineroar and Excadrill. If it's that, then I think we win. But it might have been better just to protect there so we get the knockout onto Lapras and Blastoise doesn't go down, because then we can Aqua Jet. And we know this Lapras already has Freeze Dry, which should KO us. So, yeah, made a bunch of mistakes this game. The Dynamax Blastoise would have worked too if I just targeted the correct slots that turn. So that was kind of frustrating. Excadrill comes out. It's Braviary. I don't think we beat Braviary, unfortunately. Unless we crit a close combat. That's our one out, right? Because we don't have a rock type attack. Yeah. Probably should have Dynamaxed Passimian in this game. I guess it's not like that would have won it for us. Yeah, I think without like a Life Orb or a boosting item, we don't knock out Braviary. But yeah, the thing is, if we just have the turn we Dynamax Blastoise, right, we would have knocked out the Gothitelle with Max Geyser, and then Flare Blitz goes into Excadrill, so that's just a double KO. Alright, let's see if we can crit. No. Yeah, and so then that's a double KO. You bring out Braviary and Lapras, and then I just go for Max Geyser onto Braviary. Yeah, Coalossal doesn't really mean much to me at that point, and as soon as I knock out Braviary, the Passimian wins. The other mistake I made this game was letting Trick Room go up. I really thought the Max Steel Spike was going to get the KO. I wanted the defense boost, given that I knew Excadrill was in the back and potentially Braviary, but without knowing that calc for sure, I think, yeah, Gothitelles are, you know, often, obviously, very, very defensive, and it's like Max Steel Spike is such a low damage output move, so if I just went for Max Geyser there, I could have predicted the Lapras switch in too, right? If I go for Hurricane onto the Excadrill and Max Geyser, like, I figured I was in a position where I could make all these safe plays, but and that would have worked out if Trick Room doesn't go up, but unfortunately for me, obviously Trick Room did go up. Reason being is if Trick Room doesn't go up there, then you're forced to bring in the Excadrill or the Braviary, both which obviously don't want to take a Scald. You pretty much have to protect them. And then you probably knock out my Lapras, which gives me a free switch into the Passimian. Yeah. So I think that was actually a pretty poorly played game on my end, but I think, once again, it's good to show these games too because it highlights like where the mistakes are, and in this one, there were two. Like, one, when I committed my Dynamax to Blastoise, I needed to know what I was doing with it, and in my head, like, I kind of ran out of time that turn, but, you know, the goal was basically, okay, you're not going to target down the Coalossal here, and if you don't, then, you know, we knock out the Gothitelle. I guess it's kind of a read-based turn. It was risky for my opponent to not have targeted my Coalossal, but that was the read that I was making. Otherwise, it makes more sense to probably Dynamax something like not Braviary, the Pessimian that I had in the back. And then the other mistake was going for the Max Steel Spike, assuming that would just knock out the Gothitelle. I should have just played it safe, gone for the Max Geyser, guaranteed the knockout, because Trick Room was the way that my opponent could get back into this game. Third play I could have done differently was actually protect Blastoise that turn. Close Combat knocks out the Lapras. And then I have Blastoise at +2 defense and Pessimian against Excadrill, Gothitelle, and Braviary. And I think I actually win at that point because then I can just click. Psychic is probably not even 2-hit KOing the Pessimian. So actually a lot of mistakes. I feel like that was just a lot of errors adding up. And any one of those errors, if we don't make, we probably win the game. So games like that I think might be a little bit frustrating to watch. So I have to apologize because I feel like I blundered a bunch. But I post them because I think it's valuable to see where I could have improved. And when there's so many different plays that I could have done differently, I think those were good too. The downside is, of course, if I make the read and I protect the Pessimian and my opponent doubles up into Pessimian with Hydro Pump and Psychic, that might KO us, honestly, which is why I attacked with Blastoise that turn. I also wasn't sure how fast the Lapras was going to be relative to my Pessimian, but you could probably make an educated guess that it was going to outspeed us. So, yeah. I think if we actually protected Blastoise there in that turn, we also could have won the game. But in the end, yeah, it was close. But the fact is that I made a lot of plays that if I make the more optimal play that turn, I think we just probably end up winning. Yeah, my bad. Sometimes when I play late, definitely don't make the best plays, but ultimately, my opponent just made some really, really great plays overall as well. And I obviously had that brain fart as well that even allowed me to get a free turn with Coalossal, which was forgetting that Steam Engine didn't activate. So, yeah, try to do a little bit better. I feel like the first 2 games, I'm happy about how I played. That last one could have been improved on, but still a fun episode overall. So, hope you guys enjoyed. As always, if you did, please share support by leaving a like, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, peace.